All right, guys, welcome back. In this video, what we are going to do is we are going to build a navigation system where, so if you click on this add new button, it's going to show you the screen where you'll be able to add a new task, which will have the field name, such as name, completion date, and the task button. So let's learn how to do that. So I'm going to save this, because what I did was I already added a line of code for you guys, so you can, rather than me typing it, as you know, I really prefer not to type because I find it to be very boring. And to save you time, save me time, I prefer to just have it type everything there for you so I can show you line by line what each of the line means. And also, I also put like a very well scripted comments for you to follow it. So for example, this line of code pretty much just opens up your jQuery DOM, and at the bottom right here it kind of closes it. So let's go through it. So the very first, when the jQuery loads, or when the page loads up, it's going to hide any and all screens that are visible. So it's going to start as a blank sheet of paper, minus of course the menu and the name of the application, which in this case will be this. So when we first load up, it's going to have this and nothing else. That's what this line of code does is. And then the local storage name, basically think of this as your table. Let's go with that. When you have your database, then you have your table. And the local storage, the name itself, just think of it as that as your MySQL database. So you don't have to create a new database, you just create tables in this regard. So what we are calling this table is called, I just call this variable called local storage name. And then this variable holds a name called task manager. And the reason why I put it in here, so I can use this particular variable throughout my code later on down the page, rather than me typing this in here. Manager name or whatever. And the reason for that is, in case if I want to come back in here and I want to say, hey, I don't want to call it task manager or something like that, I want to call it my do list or whatever, all I have to do is just change the name in here, and being that I'm using this variable throughout this whole application, is automatically going to change it for you. And that's why I declared it up here. So think of this, like I said, this is your table. And within this table, we're going to put different fields. So let's go to the next block of code, which is loading up the add new screen. Remember how I showed you in the previous video? If you haven't watched it, click on the link below so you can watch through this whole series of it, where you will learn how we created our template and so on and so forth. So where this class, which is part of our button. So what this is going to do is, it's going to go when someone clicks on this. So let me bring this up so you can see it side by side. So let me minimize this here. So someone clicks on one of your users. Let me be very specific. One of your user clicks this button, and this button, when someone clicks on it, it's going to trigger this line of code. So when they come in this line of code, the first thing it's going to do is I created a variable called getTemplate, and it's going to go to this class, which we looked at in the previous video, which is a template class, and it's going to grab everything within that div. And just to show you, let me scroll down. So this is the template right here. So this class right here is going to go here. It's going to grab everything in here and just scoop it up like a scoop of ice cream or something. That's the closest reference I got for you guys now. So you're going to take a scoop of ice cream, you scoop it up, and you want to put it in this variable, or in this case, it will be your platter or bowl or something. So you're going to assign it to this variable. And then what you want to do is you want to go to your screen data tab and then dump it in there. So in this case, if I go to my screen data, and right now the screen data has nothing, it's just an empty div. So it's going to scoop up your template here and dump it in here. And you're probably wondering, Mark, why are you doing that? That just sounds silly. The reason being is because we're taking everything from this template, all the lines of code in here, and we're going to dump it in here. And then when we want to edit something in here, rather than us creating another block of code, another template, we're just going to create same template, scoop it up, dump it in here, and change the button to read update. And that's all. So that's what we're doing here. So we're scooping up the template and we're putting it into the screen data class. And then when we have, so to speak, copy and paste it in the screen template, in the screen data, the next thing what we want to do is we want to go into screen data field, the div, and then find the class. And this is what I was telling you about in the previous video, how powerful this becomes. So we're going to find this class called btn underscore task. And then what we want to do is we want to change the HTML to save, and then also add a class named btn save new task. So let me put this in perspective for you. So we go to our screen data, we find the class named btn task, and then we add the text to say save, and also add a class called btn save new task. So let me scroll down just so you following me in case you didn't follow. In case you didn't follow or did not watch the last video, which I don't know why, but I think you should really go and watch it because you're going to learn a whole lot of stuff from that video. So this is what's happening. So this is the btn task as part of our template. So right now, when the templates get loads up, it has this test. So what are we saying? Whenever you see this in the screen data, look for this class and then add a class called btn add new task, and then change the word here from view all tasks to save. On the fly, boom, changed it. So let's go back in here, and once we have done that, then we want to show the screen data div. The reason being we want to show it here because we hit all the screen up top here. So once it does that, then it's going to show it. So let's see how well that looks. So if I go in here and then click on add new, and then voila, boom, there it is. So if I want to look at this just for giggles and see if the class name changed or not behind it, because clearly this text for the label changed as well, button label change. So if I click on here, inspect, and then scroll down, or actually I don't even have to scroll down, it's right here, and you will see it has this tab and also added the btn underscore save underscore new underscore task. How cool is that? Pretty fucking cool, I would say. In any case, so there we go. So we added that in here, and the next thing what we will do is validate the data sets in here. So let's work on that. So which is this part right here. So anytime somebody clicks on this button, which is the newly add button on the fly, it triggers this line of code. And in here, in case you did not watch any of my previous video series, this particular line of code is part of the awesome function library. So let me bring this up in case you want to learn how to use awesome function library. You could just Google it, awesome functions, and it'll be the second one right here. Or you could just go straight to awesomefunction.com. And then from there, if you go to the bootstrap functionality, and this right here is called clear all error message. And also the local storage that we will be using is also part of the awesome functions library. If you go to storage, and here you want to scroll down where it says local storage, and these are all the different functionalities that we'll be using throughout our training series. So if you want a more in-depth or all the other different functionality or options that are available to you, go ahead, visit it. And then just an FYI, I created this library. By all means, if you want to use it, you can click on this CDN link, or you can download the whole thing. And then CDN link, by the way, in case you're wondering, is it fast? Will it load fast or whatnot? It is loaded by the leading industry fastest thing that I can find is called the Cloudflare. So you don't have to worry about it. This is backend side is hosted by Cloudflare, so it's gonna load stupid fast, like extremely fast. All right, so enough said. So learn more about it at awesomefunctions.com. Okay, so let's move on. So that's that. So what we are now doing, well, I'm just adding 3 different variables, and each one of those variables are going to go to screen data class and then find appropriate field name called task, date, and that. And the reason why I'm doing that, because I don't want it to just say, hey, go to the document, period, and find where the thing is. So if I do that, then it's going to go find it in the template as well as the screen data. And I don't care about the template because I'm not trying to edit anything on the template div. I only want to edit or find the value that is in the screen data. Hope I didn't confuse you. If I did, rewind this video and watch it again. It will all make sense to you. Or if that still doesn't make sense, watch the previous video. If you can't find the link, just click on the link below where you can watch all of the series of these videos. So that's that. That's what I'm doing here. And the next line of code is just validating. Once again, this particular function is part of the awesome function. Basically, what it does is check to see if the name in here is empty. If it's empty, then it's going to throw up this error message saying, hey, enter the task name in there. And same thing for the date. If there's empty, it's going to show that error message. However, if it's not empty, then it's going to go to the else part of it, which is right here. And then what this does is it just throw this in a JSON object. It adds a record ID, which is the field name for our table, and then task name, date, and then description. And then this one is also part of the awesome function library. I'm trying to make it easy for you guys so you don't have to go create multiple different things on your own. I have done everything for you, and I will highly encourage you to check out the awesome function library. Everything in there, you will find that thing to be extremely helpful. So there's my little plug there, but trying to make your life a little easier. I have incorporated all the things that I have used in the past, trying to make my life easier, hence take a benefit to you, make your life easier. So that's that. So once it's done, it's going to add this array, JSON array, into our local storage by this function. So the name of the table, which I said it in the beginning of the video, which is the task manager right here. And once it's done, it's going to add it to the local storage, and then what it will do is it will show a message, hey, successfully added, and then this gets displayed in the screen data. So what I'm going to do for right now, because we don't have the view screen available right now, I'm just going to comment this out and then just save it, and then I'll show you what it does. So let's refresh this page so we'll start it from the beginning. And I'll open this in the console log thing. And then I want to look at the application. This is where the local storage is stored. So right here where it says local storage. Right now, if I refresh it, there's nothing here. Great. So if I put this on the side and then try to add a new. So let's just call this task 1. And I'll put a date on it for like, I don't know, the 17th. And I'll call it this is my first task ... or something like that, and then click on save, and it's going to say, hey, there it is, it's been added. And you probably didn't notice, but right here it automatically, without me doing anything, it added the name. In this case, local storage, they called it a key value pair, so I'll just call it as a table. So within this table we have all of this data that we just added. So that's that. So in the next video, what we are going to do is we're going to add a functionality where we can view all the tasks after we have added a new one, or when we click on this button, view all tasks. All right, so with that said, I will see you in the next video.